Hello, everyone. I'm Steve Peterson.
And I'm Jack Hinkle.
Welcome back to another episode of Chops Podcast, where we get to know our students, know our teaching, and know our content. Or if you're taking it to 12, we're going to love all those three things. Welcome back, Mr. Hinkle. It is now middle of January, and we're in Snowmageddon. How's life going for you? Week and a half into 2026.
Well, I thought my life was going pretty well until I look at your mug is now bigger than my mug.
I have grande mug.
And I'm just tall. At
Yeah, just the tall. I got the venti over here.
And that's from our merch store, right?
That's from our merch store. Just arrived today. Arrived in one piece. Happy to hear. Happy to see. Looks sharp. So.
And this is like the appropriate amount of coffee.
Yes,
right?
That's the kind of one I usually.
This is what I would put like tea in or like drink water out of in a pinch, you know.
With your
but
pinky
like,
up.
Yeah. But this is what
That's
I would
a
drink
mug.
before school. Yeah, fill that up with some just a cup of black Folgers. I'm sorry, you're a Maxwell House guy.
Technically, I'm Starbucks French roast, but
that's right. Sorry.
Right, but
Old
I keep
school.
it in a Maxwell House container. Okay.
Just keeping it humble. There you go. Yeah, Steve and I just had the pleasure of attending a half day of school.
Okay. With a half day of school, I had a half day of school, but really the half day of school was normal for our morning students. They come in at the regular time. So it kind of presented just like a regular day, except we had the afternoon off. You, though, taught 7 classes, or the high school went through 7 classes, and each class was how long?
17 minutes.
So, Jack, how are you effective, or what did
Bold of you to assume I'm effective.
Oh, I know you, Jack. I know you would not waste a minute in your classes. You would do something meaningful within those 17 minutes. And I know you had something planned for one class, but what'd that look like?
Well, you would appreciate this. Number one question band directors get on half day is what?
Do we need our instruments?
Yeah, exactly. So I put on my slides, like normally the top of my slides say the class name, like concert band or symphonic band, and I erase that and I put, quote, "Are we playing today? Question mark, quote, dash, yes."
And they all come in and go,
You signed up for this one, right? Yeah. Just trying to mitigate that. And it's not, I don't blame them for asking that. Like, it's not that, but you teachers know one kid asking something is one thing, but when 50 in a row ask you 7 classes a day, it does get old. So just trying to get that out of the way and play. And the kids know, like, we're in January. We've had half days before we're going to play. So all the performing ensemble classes played, and, quantity versus quality. I'm definitely picking quality today of what we're doing. So we played through, like in jazz band, we played through a tune that we're going to play at our contest next weekend that we haven't touched in a long time. And It was like, honestly, the class was like just long enough that we played like a tuning note. We played through that tune. We shared some reflections about it, and we packed up.
Right.
Band, like last class of the day, symphonic band, we worked on like their homework assignment, just giving them a couple times to play through it and practice it together. Music theory, we harmonized a melody. We finished harmonizing one we worked on yesterday. And the other jazz band, we worked on like a 20-measure chunk that has been cooking us, and we're trying to get it down before our contest. And then exciting stuff in concert band today.
Yeah, tell us about this.
And shout out again to our sponsors, Sight Reading Factory. They hooked us
Or Steve likes to say, Sight Reading Factory.
Sight Reading Factory. They hooked us up with 50 student accounts that we could mess around with, and we tried their live practice today. So I haven't told you about this yet. So this is how it looks. The kids they clicked on a link on our campus page, so that got them signed in. It was super easy. And then I created a live practice session, and you've seen Sight Reading Factory where you pick what your details are going to be, how complicated, etc. And I hit live practice, and then there's a room code that I put up on the board. It's like 4 letters. The kids type in that code, they hit enter, and then they have their part in front of them on their instrument.
So there's something when they sign up, they say what instrument they're...
Yeah, they have to select their instrument.
Sure.
And the clarinets were confused because it just said B-flat soprano clarinet. And they're like,
okay.
Did I pick this? Yes.
Yeah.
So we did that. And then I see the score, they see their part, and I just say, 1, 2, ready, go. And then I said, I'm going to click next, and it's going to show me new music. Let me know if it does that for you. I hit next, and they're like, yep.
Wonderful.
So I'm in like complete control of it. I can mess with it. And there's like a huge list of standardized sight reading group listings, so you can line it up with your contest organization. I've said this all like in the script that we run for the ad, but like
Yeah.
actually doing it and seeing it live time, it's like super impressive.
And you did it today with a group of by the way, this is unscripted.
Yes.
But you did this with a group of 50 students, and you did it within the time of 17 minutes.
Yeah.
One-on-one.
And we signed up for it too.
And you signed up for it. So
we
you
never
did.
do that again.
You were moving. You did a lot of things, but that speaks to the simplicity and clarity of Sight Reading Factory.
Yes, and I literally asked the kids, again, this is unscripted. I asked the kids, was this easy to do? And they're like, totally. So the biggest challenge, I am in the middle of speaking, and you're playing musical chairs over there.
Gosh, you're sitting over there in
This is how
Captain
you know it's unscripted.
Spock's or Captain Picard's chair over there. You know, I'm sitting over
You
here
blew
on
up
the
that
dugout.
reference so
Okay,
bad.
okay.
Moment's over.
Sorry, go ahead.
The hardest part, I told the kids, will be you bringing your iPad and having it charged. Like that's it. But even if, like, I mean, there were kids that didn't have them today, and you just look off your neighbors. So we got the licenses in, we used it, and it was like, I want to do that again because it was zero prep from me, but very effective.
Okay. That's a win-win-win. That's like win for using the one-to-one technology. That's a win for using the subscription that we were given.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then like having a win that it went so well, and a win that you used 17 minutes wisely.
Faux show. So thank you, Sight Reading Factory and Colleen, for helping us out with that. That was totally easy, and definitely want to use that again.
Good.
So, yeah, productive 17 minutes today, but you'd be amazed at how many kids think 17 minutes is just like, well, that's not really enough time to do anything.
Right.
So, I want to figure out how to approach that with a teachable moment in an effective way. I would hope there's some self-awareness that like, oh no, we actually did do something today, and we got better. I hope they realize that.
They probably don't.
Yep.
But if you bring it up to them, you could reflect on it, especially with the younger concert band,
Mm-hmm.
right? And saying, hey, this is what we did.
This is what we did. This is what you accomplished, and it's going to make tomorrow easier. And good use of time. I agree with you.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Good job.
So, Steve, what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about making moments.
Making moments. It sounds like a Hallmark movie.
Oh, teaching is like a Hallmark movie.
There's tears.
Okay, wait. Real quick. Speaking of TV, we are watching a show now it's on Netflix. It's called 11/22/63.
Oh, the Stephen King thing?
Yeah. Have you seen that?
No, I should though.
Okay.
Is it a movie or a series?
It's a miniseries.
Okay.
It's creepy as Stephen King is.
I love that genre
but
though.
The premise is he goes back in time to try to stop the assassination of JFK, which is on 11/22/63.
Okay.
And he gets into a whole bunch of other stuff, and wondering if the butterfly effect works, how it's going to affect the future. But I guess we'll find out.
And me saying Hallmark movie you went straight to Stephen King.
Yeah. It's good.
Oh, I thought you were gonna like tie this into what we're talking about. You're just telling me I should watch it.
No chance.
Okay.
No chance.
Okay.
I'm just on a tangent.
I'll lock in.
Making moments.
Come on,
Grab the wave. Ride the wave. I think there are so many ways and so many possibilities and so many moments that you can really make moments like special, and you can make them memorable, and you can make them hysterically funny, or you can just make them to be like a warm fuzzy. And it doesn't take money, doesn't have to take money to do it. And I think like it could be something instructional based, or it could be something social based with your band. I think about one of the things, making it a moment happened. Like for many years at the high school, and I can't remember if your class got on it or not, but we used to do the pancake breakfast.
Oh yeah.
Were
Yeah, yeah.
Did you get to
out
do
here,
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the last week of school when the seniors' last day came, like Jazz One would come in with like griddles and all the supplies for breakfast.
And they were first period back then, so it made sense.
Yeah, and we had like a tent. Sometimes we had like an awning or a tent set up outside, and kids were playing tunes, and they'd dress in Hawaiian stuff, and we'd make pancakes inside the door sometimes because the electric could work better there. But they just, turning your band hall or turning your music hall entrance outside that they've come in through thousands of times into like a pancake breakfast, just on, and it was there for like 90 minutes, then it was gone. And, I have so many good memories. It's surprising how many memories show up in my phone of days like that. I'm like, oh, that was a good time. That was like really fun. And I think of something like that, like non-instructional time that I think really like sits well with the kids. Took so little effort and so little money. Another one that I think of, and I'm going to get more to the music side too, but this one maybe takes a little money, but it was like so valuable, was Jazz Band Retreat.
Oh, good times. Good times.
The Jazz Band Retreat, we started many, many years ago, and we'd take Jazz One. Is your phone recording?
Yep.
Okay. We took Jazz One out for the weekend, and we went to a camp.
Camp
Manitou.
Manitou.
We would go up in Marcellus, Michigan. It's about an hour away. We get the activity bus, and then a band dad would bring the equipment up, something like that.
I drove the truck one year for you.
The equipment
Not a
truck.
Manitou, but
Right.
a different one.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and we would arrive on a Friday night after school. We'd all travel together, and we would stay for 24 hours. It was basically like a lock-in. And we prepared all our own meals. Each section took a meal.
Oh, yeah.
So like Friday night,
I want to say, were the
Saxophone.
They always made the dinner.
Made a dinner.
And then
The morning
rhythm section did the breakfast the next morning, right?
Yeah, rhythm section did the breakfast, so they got everything going. Then trumpets did snacks, like
Easy
hardcore snacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it didn't take much talent.
Which is
And
why I
then-
went to the trumpets.
And then the trombones did lunch, right?
Yeah.
And so we would start we would do like 3 rehearsals.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have a number of sessions, or 1 or 2 sessions on a Friday night, and then 1 or 2 sessions on Saturday. And it was like dorm kind of cabin sleeping, boys and girls separate, of course, and there were chaperones to help with that, the management of students. But we would set up like the drum set and everything in the main lodge, like by the fireplace. And then a lot of times it would be like snowing. It'd be like wintry weather, and we were out in the woods. And so we'd be out, eating our food, having our junk food, listening to jazz, then going outside and having a snowball fight, then coming back in and getting all dried up, and then like be like in sweats and hoodies, and then doing a jazz rehearsal in the fireplace room till midnight. And those usually turned into some kind of talks.
Oh, yeah.
Right? They'd become some kind of like goal setting but I mean, it was fun. And then of course we'd stay up too late. We'd be playing games, right?
Yep.
Some kind of tournament of games going on, and listen to music, carrying on. And then the next day do a rehearsal after breakfast and kind of do the same thing, and play outside again, right? And those were just like at the rent. The cost of that was like a rental of a church camp cabin for a weekend, and everybody divided up was probably like $10. It wasn't that much. Plus we had to bring the food. But like those were a little bit about jazz, but they were a whole lot about the band.
This episode of Chops is sponsored by Sight Reading Factory. Sight Reading Factory is a digital tool that generates virtually infinite music on the spot for any ensemble. Every exercise is customizable, making it great to focus on specific rhythms or intervals. And now you can even align the exercises to match your state and organizational standards. Sight Reading Factory is built for the classroom with 2 great features: auto assessment, and live practice. Auto assessments grade student recordings automatically so you don't have to, and they sync directly to your gradebook. By selecting one of 3 levels of leniency for your group, you can be sure SRF will grade recordings appropriately. Live practice allows you to generate music for your ensemble on the spot. Correctly transposed parts will be sent to students' devices while you read the score. No more wasting time distributing, collecting, and hunting down original parts from your library on Sight Reading Day. Visit sightreadingfactory.com today to begin your subscription for as low as $3 per student. You have a good balance of planning versus intentionally not planning. And like Steve's talking about making moments. So teachers, here's what the secret is for Steve is that he's had so many years of experience. He knows what he needs to plan for this, logistically speaking and like agenda speaking. But also he was pretty intentional about leaving some space open for authentic things to happen, AKA these moments.
Yeah.
And I can think back, there's a lot of lore of Concord Band that happened at those
jazz band retreats.
Yeah. For example, the owl that currently sits on top of the speaker in the band room.
He's from Camp Manitou.
He's from Camp Manitou.
He washed up on the beach.
And I found him.
Yeah.
I took him back. I was like, Mr. P, Jazz Owl. And you're like, great. Where do we put it? I don't know. On the speaker? Sure. And it's been there. I think it's got a Mickey Mouse hat
It
now,
does.
right?
Yeah,
But
just washed up on the shore of the lake.
Yes.
Right.
And I was like, we need to take a souvenir. So that came from that. Also, funny story, I think funny. That's when I sledded into the lake.
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes.
And it was like, I want to say it was with Adam and Jacob.
My sons had come up. They spent the morning with us. There was some drop off. They were with my parents. I don't know, something. But they ended up with us for like Saturday.
Yes.
And they were like little tykes.
Yes, they were little kids. Because that was when I was in high school, right? But the worst part of that was like my parents just bought me my letter jacket. And that's what I wore with it. And that hill didn't look that steep, but it was one of those things, the ice, like snow was so packed down, it was into ice. And I'm just like, oh no, I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. And that was like cold, wet, and disgusting. And it was like early in the trip. So I was like in the like soggy clothes. I'm like, I'm so stupid. And my mom's going to kill me. Like, classic.
I do remember that.
But that was funny. But also like thinking of the like actual moments, I can think back to my time as a kid going to that, and like the moments I remember are those group talks that we had, as a band, but also like the discussions and talks, whatever, that we had like in the bunk room, just the kids.
You guys.
Stayed up far too late talking about who knows what. And like, but then like I went with you as a teacher. Like when I wasn't teaching jazz band yet, but I just went as another director to help you out and like hang.
Yeah.
But those were fun times too.
Well, then we would hang out.
And then, right.
You and I slept by like a fireplace, like in some lodge one time.
Yep.
And then like, cause all the kids had the bunks, and then we had to sleep in
on the ground. We were just on the ground in the sleeping bag.
Yeah.
Hoping for a dream. Yeah. Those were good times. But it was pretty cozy though. Like I think
it was very.
Oh no. The one year there were like the 2 couches, and you remember
we were sleeping on the couches.
And it was like right by the fire.
Right by the fire. And the girls were on one side of the building, like in a room, like a bunk house, and then the boys on the other side.
And we rehearsed in a completely cement block room.
It was really small.
And
it had a really small kitchen. It was loud. It was so loud. And the instruments are like right on top of the food table. But and we had like a massive snowball fight afterwards. And
yeah.
So like memories like that, like creating moments like that, those things weren't there, so coming up with your own moments, whatever those are, is important. I think traditions are important, that you bring slogans or sayings or people or places that you bring up. But go ahead. You were taking.
Well, I just hope too, like for the teachers that are listening, like I can't imagine the majority of the listeners of this podcast went into their teaching solely for the love of the content. Like if you're teaching, I mean, if you are, that's fine, and that's you.
Those
and
are
authentic.
Those are like the science and math teachers.
But I know, like Steve and I came into music education because we really enjoyed music, and we enjoyed seeing the relationships that were fostered really make a difference in the lives of these kids, whether that was with each other or with the teachers. And I shouldn't speak for you, but that's my truth. It's my why, as we say. And that is what spoke to me. And if I'm not providing that for the kids, like, what am I doing? What are we doing as teachers if that's not like our ongoing mission, is to give those kids those memories and those meaningful things? And the fact that you and I can spout off like 10 different like recollections from those years, I would say is a testament to the importance of those moments.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. Make moments.
Yeah, and the students that come back to mind, you know, and just and what the vibe was of that certain group of students, and you know, just having.
Yeah. You remember the Jazz Lion?
Huh?
The Jazz Lion.
Oh yeah, the Jazz Lion. We had pictures with it.
Yeah.
Senior pictures. We took senior pictures. One year we went to a church in South Bend, and it was really snowy, and my friends Grant Longenbaugh and Cameron Bradley went along as kind of like staff people to help out.
Yeah.
And we slept like in this small chapel, like, and the kids were like in a different part of the church, but we had like this small chapel, and we opened the window because it was so hot. We woke up in the morning, we were covered in snow. So that, because we were so hot, but we woke up and it was like,
like
there's snow in the chapel.
It's like when you open your sunroof in the winter.
Exactly. What kind of idiot would do that? So musically too, I've been thinking about this.
Well, it originated from the jazz concert, right? That's when you got this moment, the idea of the moments.
I did?
Yeah, because we sat here and then we were hashing out the jazz concert, and you had suggested, like, where can you make a moment?
Yes. Okay, that's where the connection. Okay, yes, but we didn't do that on air.
No,
we talked about that just on our own. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Okay, so then I was thinking about that, like with Jack and like programming, and jazz band, you have a little bit more leeway, right?
Sure.
And marching band is all about leeway. You make your moments all the time.
Yep.
Right. You get to create your moments. Concert band, you better choose good literature. But I think, a person that was really instrumental in showing me that, like that. So I guess this part of the talk would be about like programming, but like Max Jones, my director, and kind of like director emeritus here at Concord, was really dedicated to quality programming and music that was diverse and contrasting and interesting and gave you those moments. He was really good at that. Really good at finding those tunes that created like those moments, like within each one. So when you would listen to that band, you were like, that was memorable. It wasn't just kind of 3 tunes just like picked out of the shelf. It was like really tailored for that band. And I have some really wonderful memories of teaching with Max, doing that and like creating moments, just some, different instrumentation or just different solo instruments, and just, allowing that to kind of come to life. But then like with jazz band, I know that you've done this over the years too, but if you have a jazz band chart that you like and it doesn't fit exactly what you need it for, you have the license to change those tunes based on who's in your ensemble and based on what kind of performance venue you're going to, right? So, like Jack last year took Jazz 3 to the Ignition Garage, which is a small artsy venue in the town of Goshen. And he took them there on a snowy night in February. And you played maybe 6 or 7 tunes, and I say that with quotes, but you also took tunes that were simple and elongated them or vamped them or put an extra drum solo in. You had a guest artist, and then voila, you had a 45-minute performance, right? Mm-hmm. I think about couple years ago, we had remember the Shades of Green was a barbershop quartet. Right. Shades of Green.
Yeah.
4 gentlemen that graduated, so they'd be sophomores in college right now. And very talented, and they had a barbershop going. They were all in choir, and they were all in band, right? And they usually did a special at our big concerts, and they always had something. And for jazz band that year at Jazz Cafe, our final concert of the year, I brought out a tune that we had done in the past, Portrait of New Orleans, Jazz Portrait of New Orleans. And there is a Dixieland section in the back half of it, Dixieland with big band of When the Saints Go Marching In. It's a cute arrangement. And we started making a musical moment. We started that with a slow gospel harmony version of When the Saints Go Marching In. Right?
I remember that.
And it just was kind of classic barbershop kind of stuff. And it was an arrangement that we had kind of maybe screenshotted off the internet, but it was stuff that they kind of were able to do.
And those 4 boys were like very talented, not just in the choir stuff, but also in like the stage presence ideas. And I remember, didn't they kind of turn it into like it was a sing-along.
Yes.
And they turned it into a little like skit sing-along thing.
Yes.
Again, right?
Yeah. Oh, when the Saints. And so they did like this slow gospel harmony barbershop quartet. And then it got up-tempo. Yeah. And then we had one of the guys in it took over, and he like did a call and response with the audience.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thunder with saying that. It just all came back.
No. And that was like not, I mean, we worked on it, but that was not in the arrangement. The arrangement was like, L through P, and we made it A through Z.
Yeah.
And then we put tags on it that fit our band and like made a moment. And I guess the importance of that story is like using the resources that you have. Like, it wasn't my first idea to put in a barbershop quartet. Like, I that wasn't on my radar. But the more these guys came around, I was like, those guys are talented. Yeah. Those guys are fun. And those guys could tear this up. And they did. And we made like a moment. We made something out of a pretty good chart. We made it really fun.
Yeah.
Right? So I like to think about that, like as a teacher, where can you kind of flex your programming ideas and literature, but then also if you're doing something like a jazz band, of creating those moments for you. I'm going to go to Jack. Jack is now directing Jazz 1 at Concord, and he found an arrangement of the old Saturday school, what's it called?
Schoolhouse Rock.
Schoolhouse Rock, and the conjunction junction. And it's kind of like a it's just a little tune about, phrases and clauses and all that kind of stuff. But he found it, and it was off with a band arrangement that he found of a band that he likes called Couch. They did an arrangement of it. And so it was one kind of bass similarly on that, and added a vocal and used exactly like what he had in the band with the kids and with him writing an arrangement or a rearrangement and coming up with something that was totally unique. Nobody else has that. Nobody else has conjunction junction. Right?
But if you'd like to, it's available on arrangeme.com and sheetmusicplus.com.
Woo!
There you go.
Right? But it's that idea of like using what materials, what human resources, and what things you have access to create moments that are special and unique to your program and to your class, to make those moments. And so years later you go, that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And the kids will think that too. And maybe the beauty of it is that like the kids don't even know.
I think that's true.
And it's okay. It's okay they don't know. And if that's true, it just means that your kids have kind of like adapted this expectation of like, what I'm going to do is always going to be high quality.
Yeah.
And my teachers will take care of me and make sure that that's the case every time.
Yes.
Because I think about that like this, I'm drawing this connection with you like live time now. Like I never thought about that as a kid, that like this is like a really cool moment. I'm just like, this is more or less the norm of what we do. Because I mean, I was in Jazz 1 with you for only like 2 years, but it felt that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of good.
Right.
Like the kids have a privilege of having moments all the time.
Right. And it can cost money, but in most cases, many cases, it doesn't.
Very cheap, cost-effective thing Steve did that made a moment. The Jazz opening ceremonies.
Go ahead. I don't even know.
Well, I will tell you that because that was your thing. I don't do it anymore, like out of respect to you.
Fine.
But if I remember correctly, was it always the drummer you'd send out of the room, or was it just somebody?
The whole band, but the drummer got the mallet.
The drummer got the mallet, and and would leave the room. But before we talk about this, we do have a lamp in the band room that was the jazz lamp for many, many years, and Steve would turn that on only for jazz band.
Yes.
Right, that was your thing. And he would send a drummer out and the whole band out at the very beginning of the year, before jazz band even started, like the first day. And you would blast the Olympic theme song, right?
Dun, 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 dun.
And the drummer would march in carrying the mallet like it's the torch and would put it in the shade of the lamp. And Steve would turn on the lamp, a.k.a. like lighting the flame, right?
Right.
And then we would clap.
And then we would say the what was it called? I had some script about the not the rules, but the code of conduct for the jazz band.
Oh, okay.
And
Sure.
it was like a promise that we were making to it. It was like a pledge.
Yes.
And that they called I would say, and they would respond.
Yes.
And then we'd say, "Let the jazz band season begin."
Yes.
And yee, and then go on.
And
right?
yes. Maybe I should bring it back. I do a pledge, but it doesn't seem like enough.
Okay.
Maybe I need to up the ante.
And I don't think that was like born shocking. Like, I know this is exactly what we're going to do. It just kind of morphed over the years.
You definitely just saw a mallet out of a
Right.
stick bag and you're like, I got it.
But okay, so then again, like that cost nothing. And it was like our thing.
Right. And of course, if there are opening ceremonies, there are closing ceremonies. However, we are not able to talk about those on the air because the kids would get very upset because the
Right.
kids want it to be a secret. There's nothing like, it's fine. It's totally appropriate.
Nothing wrong with it.
Nothing
It's
wrong
just
with it. But
you got to experience it.
you have to experience it. And the kids, like, I remember because, like, it used to just be Jazz 1 and Jazz 2
Yeah.
at that point. And sorry, we're talking to each other, not the audience. We do closing ceremonies at the end of Jazz Cafe at the end of the year. We tear down the whole thing. It takes like an hour. We're at the school. It's like 11:30 p.m. and we do closing ceremonies after
We're in
it's
our
done.
Right, and we're like still in our dress clothes, but had been schlepping gear for an hour, so you're kind of hot and
Yeah,
sweaty.
everyone smells.
Right.
And there's just closing ceremonies that happen. And it used to be that kids would like kick out anybody who was not a part of it, like
Yep.
parents, like tech crew, whatever. But then you brought in Club 406, and they started doing it, and it was more. And then we had Jazz 3, and then we had the junior high jazz band. And then there were like 100 people, and then like people would start recording it, and the kids would be like, "No, put your phone away. No, we're not doing that. Put it away." Because they like were so like they held that so
Right.
dear to them.
And it was just a ritual that we really didn't talk about. And nobody really knows like how it started. I don't
You
think.
don't even know?
I don't know. And I've talked to Cameron Bradley about this too, about like, and to
Fascinating.
Grant about this, like where that came from. I just think it kind of, I don't know, but it did. Brian Golden was definitely a part of it, and he's always been
He
a part.
still is.
He's still a main character in it. But there's some things we do like ritual, and we close it down, and we declare that Jazz Cafe's over, and so it's like the end of the year, the torch goes out, but again, it's like funny. And it's like
so funny.
It has like a series of like little skits and just kind of little vignettes, and it would make no sense if we explained it to you.
Nope.
It's just kind of wacky stuff. It's all safe, but it's just something. It's like our inside joke that we were not free to share with anybody else,
Right.
and that was the expectation.
And if Jazz Cafe was on like a snow day, it's not because it's in May, but if it got canceled, I feel like the kids would be more concerned. Like,
About closing
are we going to do
ceremony.
closing ceremonies on Monday, Mr. P? What's going on? Like, you don't even care that we don't. No, you know how that would go, right? Because that's the moment.
Right.
They want that to be there.
Right.
Can I continue down the path of free moments?
Yeah. Go down. It's time for you to talk.
I started a trumpet choir at Concord.
Yeah.
This is the 4th year, and I guess it was just one of those things that's like, we don't have this, and it could be like a meaningful and fun, so let's do it. And we started doing it, and there have been some like traditions. And again, I couldn't tell you the origin of it, but how it evolved. And I think I've talked about this on air, but like part of the trumpet choir experience is that at the end of each rehearsal, we make idiotic random sentences. Like every kid says a word, and we build a sentence off of that.
Oh, I
go
didn't know
around
you did that. Okay.
Yeah. And again, I don't know how it started. We didn't do it though. I don't think we even did the first year, but it's like every rehearsal we'll do it. And like who starts the sentence changes each time.
Okay.
And we have a scribe, and someone writes down. So we do this at the end of every rehearsal, and it's, again, totally appropriate, but like totally wacky. Like there's no cohesion to anything that's going on. So the moment comes at solo and ensemble when we're in our warm-up room. And anyone who's been in a solo and ensemble room knows it's like completely chaotic. It's loud. There's tears. There's stress. There's happiness. It's every emotion you can think of. But in that room, it's all brass kids, and we have like 20 trumpets, and we're always like super loud.
Yeah.
And the typical, I would say a typical emotion at solo and ensemble is like stress and fear, because that's like, especially before you've performed in the warm-up room. But for that group, we do a ceremonial final reading of the complete saga of the 13 rehearsals. Yeah, we have a reading, and the senior of the group will read it to the rest of the group, and then we cheer and clap, and then we go perform.
Luscious.
And it's like so stupid. It is so stupid. But I know if I skipped the sentence one day, the kids would all quit.
Yeah.
Like they would walk out of the room.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's meaningful to them, and they think it's funny, and I like it because it is a pressure valve release on the day of solo and ensemble. And that's something that I imagine makes the kids keep coming back.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Making moments. And a lot of you in music education do something like a solo and ensemble festival with your kids, and to kind of build that kind of lore and teamwork and tradition and silliness. That's pretty hilarious. And then you hear Jack's trumpet choir. They're good. You come here and play at in a classroom 20 minutes later, but you never know all that stuff is going on.
You would never know. You would never know. And again, talking about the previous concept, like I don't know if the kids would do trumpet choir. I don't know if they'd come back, like if we just rehearsed and just did it for the love of playing trumpet and music. I think my kids like playing trumpet because they keep signing up to do it. But I also know that they're signing up for other reasons because they like each other. And I like them a lot, and I hope they see that. And I want to think that there's like a happy environment in those rooms, and these are for any kids. Like I want to keep giving them more reasons to come back and more reasons to engage with each other, because as I think you and I talked about off air, like the engagement and the love of each other and like hanging out with each other, and having trained adults facilitate positive relationships is like the biggest key to public education. No, just to education.
Preach.
Gosh, that got kind of hallmarky.
That was good. Yeah. Yeah. That's an awesome example. And if you're a classroom teacher, probably the most fun things you do don't cost money.
For sure.
And the making memories or the making moments, whether it's adjusting a jazz chart, that doesn't cost any money once you have the chart. Adding a soloist, adding a barbershop quartet, adding an inside joke to the end of every trumpet rehearsal that you have, something that group identifies with. And taking that to the green room right before you perform and just doing that. And like nobody else knows that's going on, but it's like you make your moments, right? And the kids come back next year and they'll go, hey, did you do that thing with the words in the sentence again? Right?
That's true. And the first time that they experience that, they're like, what? Just like when you did the first time, or you have like the juniors in Jazz 1 for the first time during opening ceremonies.
Yes.
Like, what? Or closing ceremonies, or
Right.
all that stuff. And it is like a cool moment.
Yeah.
And if you're a teacher and you're listening to this and you're just like, well, I don't know, I'm just not that creative. Like, I don't know, I don't have a good way to do that. It just doesn't sound like me.
It's just not fun.
I guess you're right. I guess if you're saying that, you're right. But these are things that we've found that work for us, and feel free to steal anything we've just said. It's not, we don't own any copyrights to any of that stuff. But
No.
that's like what makes the job fun. It's like that's the stuff that brings me laughter in the day. It's not, I mean, yeah, it's like really it's meaningful when the kids get the notes and rhythms right. I'm like, oh, good. I have job security. This is good.
Yeah.
But the rest of it is like what
Yeah.
I find a lot of joy out of, is those silly, meaningless moments, but are actually pretty meaningful.
Right. And then how much more rich do those moments make your musical experience?
Right.
Because if you're in an ensemble that's a quality ensemble that is prepared well and ready to perform, but then it also has the history behind it and the fun or the playfulness or the tradition, then it adds another level. I know marching bands are really good at that,
Mm-hmm.
right? We probably a lot of us excel at that, like, you know, your section traditions and your, you know, trip traditions and what you're doing and what you do on the field and what you do after the performance.
And if you feel like you don't have time, I promise you that all those moments that we've invested time in, it's given itself back when it comes to rehearsal protocol and how quickly the students learn how to work with each other. I can think back to many of your marching band, like your flutes and clarinet sections, and year after year, you continued to say, I really like how they rehearse.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not you getting lucky.
Right.
I mean, like, you've been intentional about making moments happen
Mhm.
so that the teamwork is better. And, you know, we similarly, like, we started like another dumb moment thing, but, you know, we do all these games during marching band. Like, we have what we call the Yellow Creek Games,
Right.
which are our competitions. And we started a few games of those, but then we've had to add some other things. And
Mm-hmm.
I think I've talked on this podcast about the snap game I do with my kids,
Mm-hmm.
and they remember that. And every year I have to explain it. They snap around in a circle, all like 40 or 50 kids, and they see how fast they can do it. And every year when we come back, they know what time they had to beat from last year.
No,
Like, they have that
that's
locked
amazing.
in. They are keeping
That's
it.
amazing.
And so, you know, we're going to be in trouble in a few years when it's like under a second. Like, we're going to go back in time because that punchline only works if we improve, and we have to keep improving. We're just going to infinitely chase zero.
You're just gonna snap at the same time.
Yeah, and done. But they'd be mad if that got skipped. They'd be mad if any of this stuff got skipped.
Right.
So make some
Yeah.
moments.
Yeah. Make moments and choose music and arrangements and literature that you can make moments with your band, and you can stand alone. It doesn't mean you're the best, but just like you can have a moment that people in the audience were like, that was really cool, or that was really fun, or that was really intense. And but then also plan your before and after, you know, activities. And you may not plan it to be a tradition. It may just be something you do one day, and then like that was kind of fun.
sticks,
And
yeah.
it sticks. But be open to that, like how that moves, and kind of like be receptive to that, of how that kind of comes up in your class. And I would say like lean into the personalities that you have.
Yes, absolutely do that.
Like let that come to life within your class, because that's how that helps those moments come to life, is getting those personalities activated and engaged.
Word. Okay, if you like what you hear,
and you hear what you like, you must be on Chops Podcast.
Nice.
So please hit all our socials. We appreciate the subscribe and likes.
And leave reviews on Apple Podcasts. Leave
Apple
reviews
Podcast, Apple
anywhere you
Podcast.
can. Apple Podcasts.
Shout out to you, Japan. Okay.
Check out the merch store if you haven't yet. Those links are on the socials. My mug looks like this. Steve's mug is bigger because he got it on the merch store.
Yep.
It's better.
Better.
More coffee, more
Yep.
caffeine,
Yeah.
better teachers.
If you
Papa
have questions or comments, please send us a message. We'd be happy to get back with you to answer any questions or just continue some dialogue. Okay. That's it. So for Steve Peterson,
Jack Hinkle.
we're out of here.